Hey guys, so before we start, I just want to let you guys know that this video is going to contain some harsh language and some questionable imagery. I'm going to try to keep the more lewd and promiscuous stuff out. But, you know, my commentary is going to be very vulgar, and some of the scenes, again, are going to be very not appropriate. So please keep that in mind before you continue watching the video. But if you're fine with all that, then please enjoy. Hey, it's Jay, and give me this fucking camera. Look at this. Look at this. Why do I even have this on my wall? This movie's not even that good. Transition. So you're probably wondering what I'm going on about. But, ladies and gentlemen, I have a treat for all of you. Today, we are looking at the 2011 horror compilation film masterpiece, worthy of being on AFI's top 100 movies of all time. However, it wouldn't really be fair because it would take all 100 slots. I'm of course talking about cHiLlErAmA. What can I say about this film that hasn't already been said? The praises are legendary. Everything about this film screams cinema and gives the reasons why. I can't even think straight. This movie is that good. So let's stop with the bullshit and cut right to why this film deserves to be put on the pedestal of cinema. So the film starts out, and you know, you really need to have a strong opening to any film to hook, line, and sinker your audience to having their full-blown attention. And what does this film start with? A man digs up his deceased wife's grave and asks her to give him head. And then she bites his dick off. You're looking at me like, why is this a good film? Well, clearly, if you don't understand why this isn't the greatest start to any movie ever, clearly you're not an intellectual and need to go back to film school, because it's really not rocket science as to why this is amazing. So this man stumbles back to his job. He works at a drive-in movie theater where they're playing some amazing horror flicks, all in a compilation for some very excited viewers, and his penis hole where a dick used to be is now leaking blue cum everywhere. And yeah, he gets asked to go to the concession stand, and he just starts jerking off his nothing because it got bitten off, and getting his blue man juice all over the buttered popcorn. But this will play a role later. Let's get to the first anthology film in this compilation of beauty, Wadzilla. Now, you might be asking, what do you mean by Wadzilla? It's Jay, come on, what does that even mean? Well, it's about a man whose Tynamo doesn't look like this. And yes, it is there. It looks more like this. And every time he gets the slightest bit aroused by anything that doesn't have a Y chromosome, he literally acts like this is the guy who got his dick bitten off at the beginning and needs to go to the bathroom to release some stress. And what comes out, it gets progressively bigger because a doctor provides him with some medication that I can't remember the name of. It's something like spermatoa or whatever. And this actually has an adverse reaction, and his sperm gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Finally, he gets set up on a blind date, and of course, this lady is a total bombshell. So I think we can understand what happens next. He has to go to the bathroom to, you know, have a little talk with himself. And this thing becomes fucking massive, grows to the size of a monster, and starts terrorizing a town. It eats a little puppy, it attacks a homeless couple, and it just goes on a rampage. Finally, the military has to get brought in, and they fire a fucking missile at it, making it explode, spraying everybody with jizz. It's a beautiful imagery. It's a gorgeous imagery. I highly recommend watching that scene over and over and over and over and over again. And that was Wadzilla. Now, the amazing thing about this film is that this is actually the inspiration for the Godzilla films. Because think about it, this movie came out in 2011, right? The first Godzilla film ever made came out in like 2014 or something. So that's a real testament to the impact on this film. It created the monster genre that we would see in films like Cloverfield or Godzilla. It's just really impactful. But it kind of pisses me off that these films don't acknowledge the inspiration for their films. It's it's a sin. It's a sin that they don't acknowledge such an amazing piece of cinema like that. Intercut between all these movies, we check back in with Cum Man and his blue cum all over the popcorn. And these people keep buying this popcorn, not realizing that it's blue, but again, that is the genius of these shots, because it makes the audience question, is there blue man juice all over this popcorn, or is there not? It really makes you think and makes you need to, ponder why this whole thing is going to start in the first place. It's pristine. It's pristine. We follow a group of kids who are, I guess, three friends, and the older friend who drove the other two there has an obsession with the concession stand lady, and he's trying to get into her pants. And it seems as though the two young ones, are also trying to get into each other's pants. We just don't know that yet. You can feel the tension there. But enough rambling. Let's get into the second film. I Was a Teenage Werebear. I couldn't even think of it. This one follows a boy who is clearly going through a very confusing time in his life where he's trying to figure out his sexuality. He's having sex with a female, but he keeps looking at boys who are running on the beach, really muscular dudes, Baywatch style, running on the beach. And basically there's this biker gang kind of thing. It's a parody of Grease because it's also a musical. And let me just tell you something. Take any of your favorite singers, any of them, throw them out the fucking window into the dumpster to be fucking taken and crushed into a piece of garbage because they are nothing compared to these singers, let me tell you. And so it's like a parody of Grease. That's what I took of it, because we have this greaser gang who are clearly lusting after Ricky, who's the main hero in this one, and Talon, their leader, is just trying to get him to give into his homosexual tendencies because he keeps getting picked on and he's denying it over and over and over and over again. Finally, after Talon bites him on the ass, literally bites him on the ass, he turns into this werewolf thing, gets the strength of a werewolf and crushes his gym coach's head after he tries to give him a blowjob, which is really, really messed up. But that's the genius of it. That is the genius of it. It's never talked about in the media when teachers try to force themselves on students. It's bringing up important issues. Remember that. And so he finally accepts his tendency in a song, Purge This Urge, and there's literally a song called Love Bit Me on the Ass. There's some great songs. It's really great. I highly recommend the soundtrack. I already have 4,000 copies, so you might not be able to get yours, but I'll be willing to sell for $50. Hit me up. But he finally gives into this urge, this werebear urge, and it's like a werewolf and a bear, and I'm not talking about the animal. I'm not talking about the animal. Just think about that for a second. And they turn into these fat, hairy, beasts and murder people and fuck them to death. Literally fuck them to death. And, there's this big dance, and Ricky's I this is the way to gain acceptance. We need to be, tolerable and, not kill people and stuff. So it's really bringing up a lesson that if you want acceptance, you shouldn't be killing people. And that's a lesson I feel like nobody knows. Everybody needs to watch this movie to gain that lesson. So it's also educational in situations like this. So you gotta give it that. And he finally defeats Talon by fucking him in the ass with a fucking metal pole, and thus destroying the werebear curse. Because Ricky will now use his newfound powers as a werebear to bring acceptance to the gay community, and it's really powerful, really touching. And he howls at the moon as the final shot. One of the greatest cinematic shots I've ever seen in my life. So we cut back to the movie theater, and things are getting a little bit more sexually tense between everybody. But there's the older dudes of the three friends. His older brother is also on a date with his girlfriend, and he's getting head from her, and he starts turning into a zombie, and he shoots his blue load right in her mouth. And so it seems as though everyone's now starting to turn into zombies from this blue semen-covered popcorn. So we'll have to see how that goes. But next, this film answers the burning question that keeps me up at night. What if Dr. Frankenstein was Adolf Hitler? And what if The Diary of Anne Frank got its origin story? Intrigued? I am. I know I was. So we open up, and it's Anne Frank, and they're hiding in the attic like they did all those years ago during the Holocaust. Such a brave, brave family. Only to have Hitler burst through the fucking wall and shoot the dad and everything. Because the dad, they're actually descendants of Dr. Frankenstein. The real Dr. Frankenstein. That's why their name is Frank. Did you ever stop to think that that could be why their last name is Frank? Fuck Matt Pat. This is the real game theory shit. And so, Hitler kills all of them and takes the book for himself and creates the ultimate Jewish killing machine. Only to have everything go horribly wrong. By the way, Hitler's played by the dumbass from Dodgeball. The dumbass from Dodgeball. And it's one of the greatest performances ever because he's speaking such fluent German and in no way offensive to the German language. He's saying legit words, and it's so good. He has this bimbo wife who will fuck anything that moves, and Hitler is so blind to it. But anyway, of course, this Frankenstein thing sees all the plans to kill all the Jews and doesn't take too kindly for that because he has the curls and everything. Again, not a stereotype, it's just how it is, I guess. And starts killing everybody in the most violent of ways, like ripping their faces off, popping their eyes out, crushing their skulls and everything, with some of the greatest practical effects you'll ever see in your life. Let me tell you something. You thought the practical effects in The Thing were good? Pussy shit compared to this. And yeah, that's how the film pretty much ends, with Hitler getting his fucking head punched right off his body. So now you guys know. Because when they stole the diary, Hitler told one of his Nazi goons to write the book as if a sad girl wrote it. So now you guys know where Anne Frank came from. That's amazing. For years we were told this lie that was this brave family hiding from the Nazis, avoiding capture so they don't get put in any concentration camps. A powerful story involving a powerful little girl and a very powerful family, ultimately getting caught because too much noise was being made up in there. All a lie, and it's really great to know that this is where Mary Shelley's Frankenstein came from too. She was clearly dating Hitler and wanted to, use his knowledge of creating a Frankenstein monster to write her own novel, which is just, it's mind-blowing how that works. So it's great that we got these origin stories, and if you're really still denying this film's worth, then I feel sorry for you, I really do. But let's cut back. The zombie apocalypse is growing. These blue zombies, these blue popcorn-eating zombies they're starting to overrun the theater, but everyone seems to be turning a blind eye to it. But we'll see how this pans out in the ultimate climax, which of course comes after the greatest part of this film. Any of you comedians out there, throw out everything you know. Anything that you think is comedy, because you ain't seen nothing yet until you've seen this. This last film is called Defecation. And it sounds exactly like it sounds. It's just shit. The comedic crown, the comedic goal that everybody wishes to reach. It's just poop. Poop flying out of people at alarming rates of all sizes and forms. Killing people, flying through the air, just fucking boobs and tits everywhere with shit covering them. I can't show any of this because I don't want to get demonetized, but it's just flying fucking everywhere. It's the greatest thing ever. The greatest, all hail of comedy. I don't even know why it's here, but I understand it. I understand it on a personal level. I pine to be like that one of these days, where my channel could be so successful on account of some shit. But, alas, I'm not that lucky. This is the corpophiliac's dream. Human Centipede needs to take a back seat. This is how you do shit. This right here. Anyway, final scene of the film. The zombies have now overrun the whole entire drive-in, with the exception of our three heroes. As the older one goes to save the concession stand lady, it's already too late. And he accepts his fate because, hey, he's getting some ass. And that will trump any certain death that you might be feeling during a zombie apocalypse like this. And our two final heroes admit their love for each other, make out, and the gentleman who is running the movies, this old guy, has an arsenal of weapons, and he's ready to kill himself because this whole theater is shutting down. And he takes his weapons, and he goes on a killing spree, but not before the zombies have one of the greatest orgy scenes. Sausage Party would be put in the back seat with how great this orgy scene is, with the zombies ripping parts off and continuing to use them as sex toys. It is amazing, and it's one of the greatest bits of cinema. You ever seen like a really, really great love scene in movies when choreographed perfectly, and it really encapsulates what that does, what that act means to a human being like us, or any animal at all? Yeah, I mean, they can't even hold up a candle. Like, the candles here, that scene, up in the sky, baby. It's flawless. And our heroes decide to fuck while zombies hump, bump, and grind their car into the dirt, cracking the windows to certain death, which is a great way to spend your last minutes. And that was the final note of cHiLlErAmA. And get this, Shyamalan, he wouldn't even know what to do with this twist. The zombie apocalypse film was actually a film. Like, people are watching it. The directors are watching it. Isn't that crazy? I didn't see that coming at all. Take any movie twist ever. Darth Vader is Obi-Wan Kenobi's father, or freaking Samuel L. Jackson was dead at the end of Sixth Sense. It's so many twists like that. They're non-existent. They're a non-factor because it's this amazing twist like that. There was a film taking place within 3 films taking place within a film. That's cool. That's like Inception, but better. And there, we close the book on one of the great... I just kicked the camera, I'm so excited. One of the greatest films ever made. Nay, the greatest film ever made. Right over here, I have a 101 greatest movie quotes poster. And I know why cHiLlErAma's not on there. Because, again, all 101 quotes would be cHiLlErAmA. And they want to make it fair. Because, cinema has such a plethora of, works. They gotta give credit to some of them. I know that they want to give all the credit to cHiLlErAmA, but I mean, it's just not feasible. It's really not. And I highly recommend you watch this film. It is amazing. It is shot perfectly. The animations, the shots, the cinematography are sublime. The actors are superb. There's nothing I can say about this film. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't know what they're talking about. Don't go looking at their reviews. It says 33%. That is nothing. Because that 66%, 67% of critics that didn't give it a good review clearly aren't as critically minded as me or you. And that's a shame. My final rating for this film is a 69 out of 5 stars. Oh, what? I can't do that? I can do whatever the fuck I want. This is my channel. So, if I had any parting words for this film, any at all, it would be that this film is absolutely painful.